What's up, ladies and gents? Welcome to the Daddy Fino Flash podcast featuring your homies. Obviously, it's me, Daddy Fino, Baby, and of course, my co-host, the one and only JT Flash. JT, say what's up to the people.
What's up?
JT, man, I don't know about you, bro, but I love today. I loved yesterday. Well, more yesterday. It was more of a bigger day yesterday. But I know you know what I'm talking about. NBA free agency. The shit's been hot. It's been fired. It's been crazy. It's been wild. What you thinking about it?
Well, I had hanging my head low today. You can't see it, but I'm wearing all black. I'm in mourning. I'm not excited. I'm not happy, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Wait. You're in more. Oh man.
I'm in mourning. I'm gonna tell you why.
Oh man. I'm sorry. I was thinking of something we said earlier. Okay, but go ahead. Go ahead. Tell me why.
This is no laughing matter.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to, but go ahead. Go ahead. Take this one.
This pains me to say, but I can no longer sit idly by and root for the Los Angeles Lakers any longer.
Why? Wait, why?
Dead to me. Like I said, this is no laughing matter. If you watch my last episode of JT Flash one down for y'all, the title's pretty plain and clear. I hate super teams. I was and wasn't excited about the Anthony Davis trade and signing. They were already big favorites now in the Western Conference with KD leaving and Clay going down. The Warriors were not a threat to them realistically in a 7-game series with LeBron and AD and whatever pieces they choose to put around them. But then I hear the reports that the Lakers are going after Kawhi Leonard. And not that they shouldn't go after Kawhi Leonard, but my thing is I'm tired. Why do we need to stack a team that much to win? Where is their pride? I feel like if we won that way, it'd be cheating, and I can't be a part of it any longer.
JC, you do know that if I was in the same room with you, I would smack the hell out of you. I'm gonna let you know that.
I'm wearing.
I hate to say it.
How dare you? I'm pouring my heart out here, confessing everything I have.
Because you're an idiot. You're literally an idiot. I'm sorry.
How am I an idiot?
Who in their right mind? Okay, first off, you are a Laker fan. You are
previously.
No. You're a Laker fan. Your team has been always known to have more than one superstar. This goes back to the 80s, even before that. But, with Jerry West and his crew. And then it goes to the 80s with Magic, Kareem, Worthy. I mean, you always had multiple Hall of Famers. Let's go to the early 2000s with Kobe and Shaq. I mean, you had a team with Gary Payton and Karl Malone. Now, they were older, yes, I understand, but you still made it to the finals. I mean, they've always had multiple All-Stars, multiple Hall of Famers.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
About it now.
No. I need to tell you. I need to explain. You want to talk about those guys. Yes. The Lakers acquired Kareem when he was already established as a dominant player.
Yep.
They established Shaq when he was a dominant player. However, Kobe, no one knew what Kobe was going to be at that moment in time. They knew he was going to be a good player. They didn't know he was going to go down as one of the greatest players ever.
You're correct.
My problem is now Now, I don't know if you agree with it. Would you consider Anthony Davis a top 5 player in the league right now?
No.
Okay, top 10 player.
Yes.
Okay. So you're telling me
No, wait. I'm sorry. Hold on. Do you mean we're talking if healthy, or we're just talking about right now in general?
if healthy, is he a top 10 player in the NBA?
Everyone is healthy. He's definitely top 10. I'm trying to decide if he's top 5. If everyone is at their 100% healthy, he might be he might crack top 5. He might.
Okay. The point is, the Lakers right now are trying to put 3 of the top 10 players in their starting 5, and tell me how that is fair. You're a Kings fan. Tell me how that is fair for anybody else in the league.
Well, see, and that's the thing. That's the one thing that I think if you look at all the free agency moves that happened over the last 2 days, that the league, although let's say the Lakers do get Kawhi Leonard, okay? It hasn't happened. He hasn't, so we don't know. But let's say he goes there. I honestly believe that there are teams, not only in the West, but there's the team in the East that can still beat them. Now, would I give them? Will I give the Lakers the edge in a series against these teams? Yes, obviously yes. I mean, you have LeBron, you have Kawhi, you have AD. You should win. But do I believe there's teams that could still beat them?
Not this
Yeah.
year.
No, I disagree. Looking at the teams after the free agency pickups that's already happened. We have a list. We'll get into more details with those teams later. But I'm looking at several teams that with their pickups, it is quite possible. I'm not saying that they could or they would. I'm just saying that it's possible that even with the Lakers having these 3 players, that they could still lose. And there's other factors that contribute to that. You also have to understand that. Now, I'm also forgetting Kuzma in that. So they'll have 4 players. But all their other players will have to be minimum contract players.
They could fill their 5th spot with a fan in the seats. I'm telling you, there's not a team that could beat that team.
But in my opinion, there are teams that could still beat a Lakers team like that.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying they would beat them. I'm just saying that I see teams that the way they stack their team and the way they're going to be playing, it's quite possible that the Lakers, they will be the favorites, but they could still not make it or win the championship.
Well, we'll get into that. But ladies and gentlemen listening, if you comment down below, let me know what new team I should root for and become a part of, because I can't do it anymore.
But that's a dumb reason to switch teams because your team got super powered. Oh, well. First off, it's only going to last for like 2 years at most.
That's not the point. It's not the point.
Second of all, we don't even know how good this team could really be. Hey, AD may get hurt. He's more, I don't wish that on him. I'll knock on some wood if there was some wood next to me, but we don't know. AD always gets hurt. I mean, that's just what it is. So we don't know. Kawhi has an injury history. LeBron is old, and now he got hurt last year. It can happen again. Like, to switch teams because your team is dominant, that doesn't make sense. You want your team to be dominant. You want your team.
But I don't want them to be dominant this way. That's what I'm saying.
But that's stupid. They're doing their job. Like, your job as a GM.
They're not. No, the GM, yes. The players, no. There's no pride there.
Okay, but who cares about the pride?
I care as a fan.
That's stupid because
no. Listen, let me tell you something.
Your team has literally done it for decades since the beginning. So to hate, why are you a Lakers fan?
They have never had 3 of the top 10 players in the league at that current time on the same roster in their starting 5.
Well, I wish I had the roster of the Lakers in the '80s. You had like 5 or 6 Hall of Famers. Like, what do you mean? I just listed obvious stuff that you have 2 players on your team. If you get Kawhi, they're injury-prone players. They're injury-prone superstars.
You're not wrong.
So it's not really. And then you got LeBron, who's old. Now, can he still ball? Yes. No one's doubting LeBron. I wouldn't doubt LeBron. But he's old. He got hurt last year. We don't know if that's going to be a continuous thing. I mean, Father Time is undefeated. That is the number one rule in life. Father Time is undefeated. Now, some people prolong their careers. Look at Tom Brady, for example. But he's like the only person in like ever to really like prolong their career like this. But at the end of the day, he's gonna lose that war to Father Time. LeBron James is in his what is this, year 17 now? I mean, he's what, 34? Oh, he's 34 years old or turning 34. But he's gonna eventually, he's at the latter part of his career. He's definitely climbing down the mountain. He's still a really great player, still a top 5 player in my opinion. But we don't know what he's gonna be come October when the season starts. So I would just calm down on that. And like I said, there are so many teams that have improved this off season already, and we're not even done with free agency. That, trust me, it wouldn't shock me at all even if the Lakers got Kawhi, they still don't win the championship. It wouldn't shock.
But it wouldn't shock me either. But we'll get into that later.
All right.
But you say there are these teams that got better. Why don't you tell me some of these teams that could oppose them this year, coming up 2020, if they were to get Kawhi?
All right. So let me sit back because you're gonna be a little bit shocked. So I'm gonna start off with a team that they seem to always go under the radar, and I'm not sure why. But one team I'm gonna say it's the Utah Jazz. Now, Utah Jazz is a team that's always been built on defense. They're led by a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert. You already got they just added Conley.
Donovan Mitchell.
That's what I'm saying. They got Conley to team him up with Donovan Mitchell. They have a team that I really love the Utah Jazz. They just added Bojan Bogdanovic, a great three-point shooter who plays actually both sides of the ball. I mean, they already have Ingles, who also plays both sides of the ball. They have a great defensive team that can now score, move the ball efficiently. They've always given teams trouble. They added some more bigs with Ed Davis, who's also another big man that can play defense. I really love this team. I think that I'm not saying they can beat the Lakers, but with their defense, they could definitely make it tough for them. And we know LeBron sometimes in late game situations doesn't always step up.
Hang on. Okay, I'm not going to change topics. That's fine. Just keep going.
What?
I'm just saying, when I want to bring this argument up a couple episodes prior, you didn't want to make that statement.
No, you're not understanding what I'm saying. I've never said LeBron is clutch or anything. I've just said he has his moments where he does step up.
I don't know.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. All I know is this. You got sometimes LeBron doesn't show up. I mean, that's obvious. We all know about the Dallas series. We all know, against the Spurs. We all know that stuff. So, I mean, it's quite possible. You can even look at Kawhi Leonard. A guy like Skip Bayless, for example, has brought this up many times on his show, where he talks about how Kawhi Leonard in the fourth quarter didn't really do anything. You know, I mean, it is quite possible, and a great defensive team like the Jazz. I mean, I think they can make it trouble for this team. And that's if, like I said, that's only if they get Kawhi. If they don't get Kawhi, I mean, the Jazz are going to be already maybe the 2 seed. I have them as the 2 seed. They have potential to be the 1 seed in the West. So, that's just me.
Wait,
Then,
you're saying potentially be the 1 seed with the teams they are right now, or
yeah,
they're
I'm saying,
saying 1 seed even if Kawhi comes to Los Angeles.
well, I think even if Kawhi comes to Los Angeles, I would still pick the Jazz record-wise, only because, not because they're a better team, but because we both know that they're going to be resting them. They're going to be using the load management shit where they're going to be sitting out. Kawhi's probably going to sit out more games than he did with the Raptors, only because they don't care about the regular season. When you have AD, LeBron, and Kawhi, why care about the regular season? The only thing you got to do is get to the playoffs. It doesn't matter if you have home court. It doesn't matter when you have that, because you have that core, you should be able to win no matter where you go. So the seeding doesn't matter. They just have to win enough games to make it to the playoffs, and then they'll be fine. So that's why I think a team like the Utah Jazz, who are great at home, whose defense can, it can translate over on the road, they're going to be trying to get that number 1 seed. And I think it was a great fit for them.
Okay. I don't have any too much to argue Utah Jazz wise. They are great at home. I think statistically have always been great at home.
Exactly. It's one of the toughest places to play.
I really like Donovan Mitchell. I think they've added some pieces around him. So I don't really have too much to say. I think they right now, the way the Lakers sit right now, they definitely would give them fits. Well, I guess we should start off by saying this. Are you putting, if healthy, are you putting the Lakers the way they sit right now as the Western favorite to make it to the finals?
No.
Okay.
You're saying right now without Kawhi, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I don't, because just the reason why is this. They're basically their whole thing right now is waiting on Kawhi. Now, let's just say Kawhi doesn't decide till Friday, okay, or something,
They're
okay?
missing out on a lot of players.
They
Right.
already missed out on everyone already. I mean, I think I heard on the Jump, for example, on ESPN, they were talking about how like the top 15 names on their board is already gone. And I think it should actually be more. Looking at all the names that have been picked up already, like even all the cheap options that are pieces that they need. For example, like a Wayne Ellington or something, or like Seth Curry. I'm trying to think, like a Mario Hezonja, a Kelly Olynyk. Maybe they could have traded for. All these names are names that they're gone. So there's nothing really left now. I mean, there are good pieces, cheap pieces out there that they could potentially get to fill out that team. But if they're waiting for Kawhi, and Kawhi takes his sweet ass time, I mean, come on now. Who else are gonna have? I just don't see it.
They have holes to fill right now.
They got 3 players on their roster. Well, I think 4, because they have a rookie.
But if they don't get a bench, they're in trouble because, to your point earlier, they don't care about the regular season, but they can't have LeBron James and AD on the floor every minute, every second. I mean, they got to have some kind of bench play to do anything.
Yep.
Okay.
And then some other teams. You told me to list another team. Another team. Now, I don't think this team could. it's going to be tough, but I'm going to say the Portland Trailblazers. I mean, I think that's another team that I know they got swept last year, but if you look at the trades they made today and plus some of the trades they made today and a couple of days ago, plus some of their pickups, I think the Blazers are now a team, if they're done. I'm not sure if they're done yet, but they traded for Hassan Whiteside. They got another big man. They traded for Kent Bazemore from Atlanta. They were able to keep Rodney Hood. I love what they've done. Um, they've added 3-point shooting. They added a big man that can help definitely with Nurkic, who had that traumatic injury. I think it was like early in the playoffs. You know, I think they have a team that's more. They added Nasir Little, who we both disagreed about how high his potential is, but I just really like the team. They added more wings, more defense. Um, I think they are more of an all-around team now. You know, Damian Lillard's going to be more motivated this year. Definitely after signing the max extension he did today. I mean, I just I can't really say too much about it. Besides, I just really like the Trailblazers. I like them more now than I ever did before. And what are your thoughts about that?
They're gonna have to prove some things to me in the regular season. Really towards the end, and then in the postseason to get, because I think they're. I don't think that they've added pieces, but I don't think that they're going to be that much more impressive than they already were. You mentioned they got swept. They didn't just get swept; they got embarrassed in the playoffs. And I think some of those pieces can contribute, but not in ways that make them, a jump to way better or more improved. But we'll have to see. They signed you said Rodney Hood, so they re-signed him. I should say they kept him, which
Yep.
is
And
which is
added Kent Bazemore, added Hassan Whiteside,
yeah. They only signed that one guy to the league minimum. I forget his name.
Mario Hazonia.
Yeah. So, like I said, they have a lot to prove to me before I can put them up in a category of. I'm not. We're not saying they can beat the Lakers, but they have a lot to even prove to be considered in that conversation to me with the players that they've signed.
No, and that makes perfect sense. I definitely can't argue that. Like I said, we both believe they got to do better. I just think that with these moves, they definitely improved their team. The only weakness I see of them right now, I think they still need to sign a backup point guard. Uh, Definitely after losing Steph Curry, you're going to need someone who can score off the bench from the guard position. But other than that, they should be fine. But I'm tired of the West for a second. I think let's take a break from the West
Okay.
because we talked about the Lakers and the potential of Kawhi and all that, but we didn't talk about the other big news in free agency. The other big domino that fell.
Are we talking about the Knicks flopping in free agency?
We are talking about that, but before we even mention the Knicks, how about we talk about the team that actually won free agency? Let's talk about the Brooklyn Nets. As everyone knows, or if you don't know, now you will, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and DeAndre Jordan all signed with the Brooklyn Nets.
Shout out to Christian.
Yeah, shout out to Christian. I gave him some props on our Twitter page. I had to congratulate him. It hurt to do that, but. But anyway, Kevin Durant, 4 years, 164. Kyrie, 4 year, 141. DeAndre Jordan, 4 years, 40 mil. Kevin Durant and Kyrie, they took pay cuts pretty much so they can get their buddy DeAndre Jordan. What are your thoughts on it? Do you think they made the right move? Did they choose the right team? Well, what do you feel about this? Because I got some stuff to say, but I'm gonna let you go with it first.
Well, I know in the beginning of this podcast episode, I said I was wearing black. I was in mourning. Knicks fans, I know you're right there with me, but yeah, I mean, it's got to be exciting time for Nets fans. You got 3 stars. I think, if Kevin Durant comes back healthy from his injury, which I believe he will, or at least he'll be very, very close to what he once was, along with KD and DeAndre Jordan and the other pieces that they have, I think they're very formidable. I think they're the best team in the East easily once Kevin Durant is healthy. And I think, you're looking at potential finals appearances. I think you're looking at the next dynasty.
Okay. Woo. Oh.
Okay. You have a problem with that, clearly, so let's hear
it. I don't know what you're seeing if you think that's the next dynasty. I really don't. So let me first start with what you first said.
Okay.
You said that the Knicks fans should be in mourning also.
Uh-huh.
I think that's total bullshit.
Okay.
Yes. Did they not get – so let's just start from the beginning. Did they not get the number 1 pick in the draft? No. So did they not get Zion? No, they didn't. Did they trade Porzingis after who didn't want to be there anymore so they can get cap space for free agents? Yes, they did. Did they get those free agents? No, they didn't. They didn't get KD. They didn't get Kawhi. They didn't get Kyrie. They didn't get Kemba. They didn't get anyone else. But they did get some pieces that I do like. Now, a lot of people are laughing at the Knicks, and I tweeted this earlier. They're laughing at the Knicks, yet the Knicks actually got good players in free agency, whereas a team like, for example, the Clippers, the only player they got in was Patrick Beverley. They re-signed Patrick Beverley. I don't know how you can laugh at the Knicks who got Julius Randle, Bobby Portis, Taj Gibson. Now, I know Taj Gibson is older and he's not really like a threat or anything like he used to be, but he's still a good player, good veteran that can help teach Julius Randle, that can help teach Bobby Portis, or young players under 25 who are
I'm going to stop you. They're not formidable. You can laugh at them because they're not formidable. If any of those players you named they would have had a super. They're not formidable. No one wants to play for the Knicks. They're not scared of the Knicks. They shouldn't be.
That's the thing.
The big bad is across the way. It's in Brooklyn.
You can't shit on the Knicks for not getting a superstar, but shit on your own team for getting one or trying to get one.
Why can't I?
Because the Knicks are trying to do it the way that, for example, the Warriors did it back in the day. The Warriors, they built through the draft.
You're talking Steph Curry, Draymond, and Clay. That's what you're talking about? Okay.
The Knicks have a team of young players.
Oh, my God. Are you about to compare them to those guys?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not comparing them. I didn't say anything about comparing. I'm just saying they're building a team from the draft. Let's look at the players they got last year. Mitchell Robinson is a really good player. Had a hell of a rookie season. You can't deny that. He has a bright future. You got Kevin Knox, who showed good promise. Now, I don't know what he's going to be. I'm not saying he's going to be an all-star or anything. I'm not sure yet. I'm really not.
Before we go on, though, real quick, I have a quick question.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Those good rookie player or first year, second year player, whatever have you, were so good and had great years. Why did Kristaps leave?
They weren't there yet.
They're not formidable. And the
Kristaps
players they
left.
signed.
First off, Kristaps left not because of the players. He left because the organization was terrible.
And you're telling me with the moves they made, they're any better?
The moves they made has nothing to do with the organization.
How? They're in charge of bringing the players in. And how the players.
You're not understanding what I mean. Okay. The players, yes. Are the players top name free agents? No. But what they're doing is they're going a different route. They couldn't get the big names. So what they're doing is, and they said it from day one, this is what they were going to do. Stephen A. has even reported it. They're not going to overspend like the old Knicks teams used to do for names like Amari Stoudemire, okay, because they couldn't get LeBron back in the day. So they went after Amari Stoudemire and overpaid his ass, okay? What they're doing, they're getting their young players that they've already drafted, Mitchell Robinson, R.J. Barrett, Kevin Knox, okay? They're building around them. They're getting young pieces that got in free agency, Julius Randle, Bobby Portis, who have proven that they can play in the NBA. Julius Randle has dominated everywhere he was, including on your team, the Los Angeles Lakers, that your team shouldn't even have let him go. It was a dumbass move to let him go, but that's another story.
I agree.
Okay, they're building around that. They're going to have a nice, solid team. I'm not saying they're making the playoffs or anything like that, but they're going to be much improved from last year. You know, they added these veterans. They added a nice Wayne Ellington. He's not a great player or anything like that, but he plays defense. He can shoot the three. They're giving R.J. Barrett some options so he can become the star. You also got Dennis Smith Jr. They have a nice little team. I don't know why, as a Knicks fan, you would be in mourning when you still have your team.
Okay, so I asked you this question a couple episodes ago about Kevin Durant. And I'm just going to use this as my point. This is what I don't understand. I asked you, do you pay Kevin Durant what he wants, even though he's going to be injured for a year? And you told me yes. Okay.
Yeah, I still agree with that.
Okay. Well, the Knicks had the opportunity to do that, and they didn't. And they didn't want to because they were questioning his injury, which is, to me, it's a double-edged sword. Yes, I see their point, but they also missed out on a chance. If they had Kevin Durant and all those pieces you named, I would say they're a playoff team once Kevin Durant comes back and if he comes back healthy. But I'm saying you mentioned names earlier like Amari Stoudemire. Amari Stoudemire at that point in time, once they paid for him, was better than all these guys you just named. Did they overpay for him? Yes, absolutely. I'm saying that they do have young players, good players. Julius Randle is, obviously the highlight of who they got, in sort of talent in free agency. But they do not have enough. It will take them years, and they'll have to build for at least, I would say, at least 3 years before they become relevant in the East.
But that's fine. That's the thing. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. The fact that, first off, Kevin Durant, it seemed like he was never going to the Knicks anyway, because he was not going to the Knicks alone. He wanted Kyrie to come with him.
But let's be real. Before the draft and before Zion, everyone said it was 95% KD and Kyrie were going.
No. That's the thing. Kyrie said New York, but he never wanted to go to the Knicks.
Okay. That might be true, but that might be true. But it was reported.
Listen, the report always said KD to the Knicks, right? They never had – the only reason they had Kyrie to the Knicks is because they know Kyrie wanted to play with KD. But the thing is, Kyrie never wanted to go to the Knicks. He's always wanted to go to Brooklyn. He's always wanted to go there. And when KD got hurt and Kyrie already wanted to go to Brooklyn, that's one of his boys. That's like – I don't know if that's his best friend, but obviously I'm assuming it is since he went to that team with him. And since Kyrie really wanted to go to Brooklyn, KD was like, well, fuck it. I'll go to Brooklyn too. And that's why they saved money. They didn't take the max, and they got the other boy, DeAndre Jordan. He was never going to the Knicks. I think if he hadn't got injured, he was going to the Knicks. But because he got injured, it was automatically he was going to the Nets. I always had that. Like
Okay, why? Why? I guess that doesn't make sense to me. Please explain why an injury would stop him from going to one team versus the other.
Because you also have to know the details of the injury. He got pissed off at the. Now this is stuff that's came out.
With Iggy, yeah.
The whole Iggy thing, the person who did the surgery on him, who did all that, the doctor he chose, and who has treated him before and gave him surgery on his foot. Do you know what team he works for?
The Nets, I'm guessing.
Yes, the Brooklyn Nets. He was always, after he got hurt and all the issues with Golden State and him not trusting Golden State and their medical staff and all that, that automatically told everyone he was going to the Nets. The Knicks still had a shot because he knew he wanted to go to New York. But the thing is, Kyrie never wanted to go to the Knicks. It was always Brooklyn. That's why he was always connected to Brooklyn from day one. The only reason he was connected to the Knicks is because of KD.
Okay, well, just go on to why you disagree with me that that's the next dynasty in the East.
Well, because first off, let's just talk about KD.
Okay.
We don't know what KD's gonna be. KD coming back. This is probably the most. This is like the death sentence injury. It feels like this injury has killed many careers. You can argue that it has killed Boogie Cousins' career. Now we don't know what he'll be this year. Maybe it takes another year to get back to 100%. But this whole year, Boogie has been terrible.
He's looked like a shell of himself.
A shell of himself. He had his moments, but at the same time, I mean, let's just say it takes you 2 years to get to 100%. Let's say Boogie comes back this year and he drops his 28 and 12. That means it takes you 2 years. Kevin Durant will spend next year rehabbing, and then that following year, based off if we're using Boogie's, as an example, that means Boogie's career, that first year that Kevin Durant can play, he's not going to be Kevin Durant. He'll still be really good because it's Kevin Durant, his skill level. I'm sure he'll still be a good player, but he's not going to be to the level that we know him to be.
Okay.
That means that he won't be until he's 33, where KD is going to be the KD we know and love. If we're going by the path, that would be his what? How many years he got drafted in? What, 07?
Yep, 07.
So that would be year 13? No, 14. That would be year 14 for him. We're looking at LeBron falling. This is year 16 for LeBron, but it was 15 where he got hurt. KD's already been hurt. We both agree that Kyrie is not like, Kyrie is not a fucking great leader his damn self. We've seen him in Boston. I don't think Kyrie hasn't led a team to the playoffs. He's not that type of player that can lead a team. He didn't do it in Cleveland. He needed LeBron to do it. Is he going to lead this Brooklyn team to the playoffs? I don't know. He led Boston to the playoffs, yeah, but then the first year. But then the second year, he fell off because he was just a terrible leader. So, I just don't see how they can be the best team or the next dynasty in the East. If anything, if you're going to say any team's the dynasty of the East, you should be saying the 76ers.
See, I think they fell off when they lost Jimmy Butler.
And I think you're crazy. First off, please explain that, because then I will shit on everything you say. And I hate to do that because I do like you. Go
Jimmy
ahead.
Butler. Okay, so does Jimmy Butler? I think he's inconsistent. I think he was inconsistent in the playoffs, especially in that last series against Toronto. There were quarters and parts of the game where he fell off. But now, with Jimmy Butler gone, okay,
Uh-huh.
you have more pressure on Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. And Ben Simmons, I think you would agree, already can't shoot a jumper. Ben
Okay.
Ben Simmons is he can handle, he can pass, and he can drive to the basket. Outside of that, he has no jumper. And where are you going to kick the ball to, Joel? Joel's going to get most of the attention down low. Tell me how they became better by losing Jimmy Butler.
Oh, easily. Okay.
They got
So
Al Horford, which is a big deal.
that is a big deal, but that's not even the name that he's actually a really big deal.
He is.
And actually, I'd rather have Al Horford than Jimmy Butler. But you're also forgetting the other piece that they got. Josh Richardson. Josh Richardson to me is he's basically a younger, cheaper Jimmy Butler. He's a 3-and-D guy who can actually. The only problem about Josh Richardson that I don't have. I have to say that it's kind of a downfall to him. It's definitely a negative factor on his game. Is that his field goal percentage isn't the greatest. I had him in fantasy, so that's why I know this. He shoots terrible sometimes, or sometimes a lot. But other than that, he can shoot the three. He can damn sure play defense. He's a rough rider, a young player who has really good potential. I really love Philly. I really love, and then you add Al Horford, who can also play the center position, who can also play the four. He's to me, he's kind of like he's like Draymond Green, where they do all the dirty work. He can block shots, he can score, he can go out to the three and make the jumper. He can play the pick and roll. He can play pick and roll defense. He can do it all. Block shots. I love Al Horford. I think he's made the playoffs every year he's been in the NBA. Great leader, And you mentioned the series against the Raptors, but you forget that Joel Embiid was injured that whole series. Not only was he sick with stomach flu or stomach viruses and all this other crap, his knees was giving him trouble, his back was giving him trouble, and they still lost in Game 7 to a shot that
I
a lot
understand.
of people consider was luck as hell.
It was a little lucky. I understand. And I'm not saying the 76ers aren't a team to be overlooked. Not at all. But I think, to your point, is you're counting on Kevin Durant. Not necessarily you're not counting on it, but you are looking at the glass as half empty with his injury, and I'm looking at it as his glass is half full. Like, yes, he's not going to play next year, but I think, in 2021, he's going to come back and be very close to what he was. He might not be quite the same, because I don't
Okay.
think anyone from that injury is ever quite the same, but I think he can get very close.
All right, but let me ask you about DeAndre Jordan, for example. DeAndre Jordan is going to be – we're looking at 2 years from now, right?
Right.
So 2 years from now, DeAndre Jordan has already fallen off from what he used to be. He's always been considered a big man that's an athletic big man, an uber athletic
Lob City.
big
Yeah,
man.
him and Blake. Yeah, I think
He's
everybody
already
remembers.
30 years old. 2 years from now, I don't know if he's turning 31 or he just turned 30. I'm not sure about that. But let's say 2 years from now, he's either going to be 32 or 33 years old. What good is he going to really be? Now, I think his defense could still be there, but a lot of reasons he was known as a great defender was because of his athleticism. He's not going to have the athleticism at 32, 33 years old. At least not the same. He'll still have some, but he's not going to be the same.
But here's what I'll refute your point with. You're posing the question as if, at least the way I'm taking it, as if DeAndre Jordan is the centerpiece of that team, and he's not. He doesn't need to be the centerpiece of that team. He just needs to be, you know, the guy down there. He needs to be that dude, like you said about Al Horford. And I'm not comparing the two. I'm just saying he needs to be that type of player, the Draymond Green of that team.
But he's never been that type of player. Never been that type of player. He's only – and look, and I think one thing that's we can't forget too.
But I'm not saying – how do I put this? I'm not saying he is going – like he needs to his game needs to be Draymond's game. I'm just saying he needs to do what DeAndre Jordan does. That's what he needs to do. That's what I'm saying.
But that one thing I'm talking about, the thing is, though, DeAndre Jordan, to do the things he does, requires what he used to do. He doesn't even do that now.
But is that because of the teams he's played on, or is that because you're telling me
his skill set? He's always been an athletic guy.
Okay.
That he uses. That's why he was so good. But before we even continue on this, I mean, I think that it would be wrong of us to, not talk about the other players on the Brooklyn Nets. Now, I understand, the Brooklyn Nets, they're a good team, good young team. They still have players on their team that, 2 years from now, maybe they step up and they will be the reason why this team will be really good. I mean, you still got Karis LeVert. You still got Spencer Dinwiddie. You got Jared Allen. You got Joe Harris. Now, I don't know their contract situations. I don't know what would happen, but let's just say that they all stay on the team. Like I said, I don't know their contract situations, but we're going to assume that all their contracts will allow them to be on the team 2 years from now when Kevin Durant's healthy. Okay. Jared Allen, to me, kind of reminds me of a young DeAndre Jordan, at least to me. Now, I'm sure a guy, Christian, will probably disagree with me on some of these points, but I'm just saying based off what I know or what I've seen. Karis LeVert, I love Karis LeVert. I actually really love him. He's a good all-around player, can do a lot of great things. He's a small forward that can play the 4, but he can also play the 2, and sometimes he can play point guard. I love him. Spencer Dinwiddie is more of a scoring point guard to me. Joe Harris is kind of like a 3-and-D type of guy. They got young pieces that I like. But to me, having a guy like Kyrie, who, in my opinion, had better talent in Boston and couldn't really play well with them, I don't see how this translates to having this team with the Nets. And then you add an older DeAndre, and then you're having Kevin Durant. I mean, I'm sure they'll definitely make it work somehow. I just don't see how it's going to be dynasty-esque or definitely better than the Sixers. Because Joel Embiid is just going to get better. In 2 years' time, I expect Ben Simmons to have some sort of jump shot. And if that happens, then God bless the league.
We'll have to see. And I think we're overlooking a team, or we guess we haven't even mentioned him, and we should, because I think with the Kyrie departure and their recent signing, I think they're actually the second best team in the East. Well, I don't want to disrespect Toronto because they just won, but these teams have made moves that I think put them over talent-wise, and that's the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, no, I knew you were going to say that. I love Boston. I think Kemba Walker, and I think you mentioned this in your thing with JT Flash slowing it down. You mentioned how Kemba Walker is not better than Kyrie, but we're both in agreement that Kemba Walker makes that team better.
Yeah.
Kemba Walker is, I would say he's a step under Kyrie. He's not the shooter Kyrie is. He's not the driver that he is. And he's not the ball handler he is. But to me, he's like a step under in each category. But to me, he's a way better leader. He's won on every level he's been in. I mean, I remember when he was in UConn and they were playing in the Big East tournament in Madison Square Garden. And I told my cousin Ray, yo, let's go to the Big East tournament. I was visiting New York and I was staying at his place. And I was telling him, yo, we need to go to the Big East tournament. Let's go. It's in Madison Square Garden. It's only like $20 for a ticket. Like, yo, let's go. And that was the same year that Kemba went on his magnificent streak where he won like 4 or 5 straight games in the Big East tournament. And then he won 4 games straight in the NCAA tournament to win the championship. Um, you know, he's always been that player that, you know, he just knows how to lead a team. He's a bulldog. He just keeps fighting. And I love that about Kemba Walker. And he's a player, in my opinion, that's going to work really well with Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, even Gordon Hayward, who I think will be healthy, fully healthy this year, hopefully. And Boston's going to be a really, really great team in the East. And they just added Enes Kanter, which is a great pickup to play at the spot for them. Yeah, definitely love that.
What I like about Kemba Walker, and I guess you can correct me if I'm wrong, he seems, point guards today, at least in my opinion, don't really do this a lot like they used to. He reminds me a little bit of an old school point guard where he gets everybody involved. He can get everybody on the team going. I feel like he's a spark plug type of player, if you want to call him that. I like Kemba Walker. No, he is not the talent Kyrie Irving is, as you've already said. But I do like him. I like him on that team. I think he can only elevate some of those younger players who are becoming stars. He could, him and Tatum, like you said, if Hayward can come back completely healthy, I like that team as much as that hurts to say.
Oh, and it's Jason Straight Facts Tatum. Don't forget Straight Facts.
Okay.
That's the nickname I gave him. He's basically the Truth 2.0, the better version. He's straight facts. So just remember, from now on, when you refer to Jason Tatum, don't forget Straight Facts.
Okay.
That's his nickname. Shout out to Jason Straight Facts Tatum. Love you, bro. Duke all day.
I'm not going that far, but
wait. And speaking of Duke, and speaking of NBA free agency, have you seen the New Orleans Pelicans roster?
I have. I believe they added one Mr. J.J. Redick in free agency.
Do you know they have 5 Duke players that will be in their main rotation?
Well, you know what that means, according to the statistic I gave a few weeks ago. No, it means hard they probably won't get any rings. Break it to you.
I highly doubt that. I think the Pelicans are a team that they're going to be must watch this year. They're going to be a very must watch. And along with another team that we will get into next, because I know you're going to say something disrespectful about them, and I'm going to give you the floor to say it. But before I go into the second team that I'm talking about, I really want to talk about this Pelicans team. And some trade, in the trades. So, for example, the AD trade, AD to the Lakers, and the Lakers gave him Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart. And now the Pelicans seem to have the way better team than the Lakers right now.
I don't know why you're going, I told you at the beginning of this video, I'm burning all my Lakers stuff.
No, I'm just saying. No, you're not. You're a Laker fan. Just suck it up. Be happy that you have 3, or potentially will have 3 superstars. Accept the goddamn titles and just be happy with it, okay? There's some teams like mine that wish they had 1 superstar. Okay? Just be happy, enjoy it. It'll last 2 years and then it'll be over.
In all seriousness, the Duke stuff aside, I'll be giving you, a hard time about Duke. I do like this Pelicans team.
You should like them.
I think that they're going to be an exciting team to watch. To me, I said this before, and I'll say it again. I think LeBron James maybe him being there and the spotlight that's on him hurt a little bit of the development of some of those younger players that got traded. They're not playing, necessarily in a big as market as LA. I mean, they're going to have the Zion spotlight.
Yep.
But I think that I'm curious to see how, specifically Lonzo Ball handles the trade and what he and Zion are able to do together. That's what I'm looking forward to. And not to mention the other pieces, JJ Redick, help me out with some of the other Josh Hart, he went.
Brandon Ingram.
There you go.
Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, Alonzo Ball. They already have Drew Holiday. They added JJ Redick. They added Derek Favors. I mean, they've added a lot of great pieces to this team that I just really, really like. I just think they have an opportunity to be a very exciting team. They might even be, there's a good chance. Definitely if Zion turns out to be like what everyone believes Zion has the potential to be, they could possibly make a playoff run. When I mean run, I mean make it to the playoffs, not that they're going to win a series or anything.
Let's pump the brakes on that. You got to give them time.
No, what I'm saying, first off, if you listen, I said if Zion turns out to be what they believe he's going to be, definitely so soon, sooner than everyone thinks that Zion is going to be great. Or most people, I'm not saying everyone, but most people think he's going to be great. And they think it's going to be a couple years. But I'm just saying, let's just say Zion is good off the bat. With the picks that they've made, if this Nicolo Melli that they got, the EuroLeague MVP, if he turns out to be really good, what if he's like another Luka Doncic or something? You know what I mean? There's a potential that they can maybe make a run for a playoff spot. I mean, it wouldn't be crazy to say that. Derek Favors is a really great player.
I won't say it's crazy, but I think it's crazy to say if they make the playoffs, it's the last seed. That's as far as I'll give them.
Oh, well, that's what I was saying. I'm not saying they'll be like a top seed or anything. The only way they become a top seed is Lonzo Ball becomes really, really great, like next year.
I don't know. I don't want to say I don't see that happening because I'm not, wishing anything bad on him. But I
understand what you mean.
He needs to work on several things before he's considered a great player, in my opinion.
No, you're definitely right about that. I'm not, I'm definitely not arguing that. He has a lot to work on. I just like the moves they made, and I think that they could definitely make a run. But like I said, they're gonna depend on their rookies, and their younger players. A lot of the Duke players, Jahlil Okafor. If he plays like he did last year when AD was out, and they give him that freedom to just dominate, they got a chance. Like I said, they got a chance. They got a lot of young pieces. We'll see what happens with them. But I do want to give you the floor on a team. I want to give you the floor because there's a rumor. I don't know if it's true or not. Like I said, it is a rumor that you have some thoughts on a team in California. They happen to play in the capital of California.
I'm sorry, we talking about your Sacramento Kings? Is that?
Yes, we were talking about the Sacramento Kings.
Okay.
I feel like you have something you want to say, or I don't know.
I have one question, and this jumped out at me, and I guess you're gonna have to explain this to me because I got some things to fire back at you. Trevor Ariza, okay, good player. What? He's getting up there in age, but what the hell are they paying him 2 years, $25 million for?
Okay, see, this is when I feel like Stephen A. right now when he has to teach Max Kellerman basketball. I feel like this is
Just
my
get to your point. Don't
this is my
just answer my question.
this is my Stephen A moment. All right, let's go, people. All right, let me teach you something. Okay, do you know who's on the Sacramento Kings? Like, if I told you to name the starting five of the Sacramento Kings, could you?
Off the top of my head, no, I could name Marvin Bagley, but as far as I'm concerned, he's 6 feet under. He got killed by Dame, so he's out.
Okay. Wow. Okay. You must have not heard the second song he dropped, but it's okay.
Uh,
Um.
I
Anyway,
I I think I could name some players, but go
don't
ahead.
worry. Don't worry. I'm gonna just get into it because
Go
you
ahead.
obviously don't know. So my team, the Sacramento Kings, consists of De'Aaron Fox at the point guard position, one of the upcoming point guards in the game. We got Buddy Hield, one of the best 3-point shooters in the game. At the three, right now is going to be Harrison Barnes. At the four, we got Marvin Bagley. At the five, it's open. So in free agency, one of the biggest needs that we needed a three. We needed um, we needed some more 3-point shooting. We needed a guard, and we needed some big men. We needed a center because Willie Cauley-Stein was our center last year. He doesn't want to be there anymore, which is fine. I was willing to let him go anyway. I'm happy with it. So let's look at the pickups that the Sacramento Kings made this year so far in free agency. We signed Dwayne Dedman. Dwayne Dedman is a nice stretch five. He can play defense. He can shoot three. He's a really good player, gets some rebounds. Love that pickup. Let's talk about Trevor Ariza, the man that you're asking me about. Trevor Ariza, he's a 3-and-D player. Honestly, might be the best 3-and-D player in the league. Last year, he was getting paid close to, I think it was either between 15 or 18 million last year with the Phoenix Suns. And then he got traded to the Wizards. We got him for 2 years, 25 million. That means we're giving what, 12.5 million, which means we're giving him less money than we did last year. Plus, the second year of the contract is not fully guaranteed. So if we cut him, it's going to be way less. Definitely, if he sucks after 1 year. Tell me, how in the world is that a bad contract?
So if that was your teaching moment, I was not struck on the head with clarity. But let me ask you a question.
Well, I was just asking, before you asking me a question, answer mine. How is that a bad contract that a 3-and-D player who is arguably the best 3-and-D player in the league, even at his age, that we're giving him 2 years, 25 million, with the second year not even fully guaranteed? It's actually really cheap. So we're really only paying him 15 million for 2 years. How is that in any way bad?
There were other free agents who had better years last year, better numbers, who got signed for the same term, same amount for less money.
Please tell me.
Okay. Now we're talking about same position, or we're just talking because
Look,
Pistons signed Derrick Rose 2 years, 15 million. After the year he had last year, that was a steal.
Okay, first off, Derrick Rose, you said there are better players who do the same thing, correct? Is that not what you said?
I'm saying there were better players last year who were signed to the same length for less money.
Okay, but they don't do the things that Trevor Ariza is great at. I said Trevor Ariza is a 3-and-D player, arguably the best 3-and-D player in the league.
Last year, are we talking about last year, or is through the tenure of the last couple years?
And even if you want to go off last year he had a great season.
Based on what? I'm looking at his numbers.
Please tell me his numbers.
Okay.
Please tell me his numbers.
Which no, they're not bad. They're actually better than the year before when he was with Phoenix. That They're not
No,
they're not his career best,
he
but
played in Phoenix last year.
in Washington,
Yeah, he got traded to Washington last year, and he played really great last year.
that's what I'm saying. In Washington, he played very well. In Phoenix, he did not.
It was the same year. He got traded at the halftime at the all.
Right.
I mean,
What I'm telling you is in the beginning of the year, he did not play what to the level you were saying he played at.
that's because he was on the Suns. They all played terrible. But when we look at in general, he had a great year last year.
So you're going off half a year then.
He was with the Suns. Michael Jordan could have played terrible with the Suns. I mean, it was that bad. Like the Suns are terrible.
Nah, you're paying a player based on half of a year's performance, and you're gonna tell me he's a bet off
You're
half a
not,
year?
first off, you're not paying him. Do you not know what Trevor Ariza has done for teams for the last decade?
No, I do know. He won the Lakers huge games early on in his career.
Thank you. He got you a championship. Do you not remember what he did?
The steal.
Well,
Yeah, I remember it.
Hold on.
Okay.
Do you not remember what he did for the Houston Rockets?
I remember.
This is just 2 years ago.
I remember.
He should have been a Rocket last year. The reason a lot of people said the Rockets are not as good as they were last year is because he wasn't on the damn team.
Listen, I'm not saying he's not a great player. I'm saying he's
what are you complaining about?
I'm saying for cheap. No, he didn't. He's old. That's a lot of money for that type of player. He's old.
$12 million. That's nothing.
Is he gonna start?
That I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay, so you're telling me if he plays off the bench, that's a good deal?
Bro, you're not understanding. He's $12 million. That's nothing in today's league. What are you talking about? Our starter is getting paid $22 million.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Like, you're not making sense. Now, I can understand if he was getting paid 20. He's getting paid two.
Okay.
For 2 years, he's only getting paid $25 million, and the second year is not even guaranteed. The second year is not guaranteed.
So but last year, you said, was he overpaid last year? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, and he was making what?
18.
Okay, so you're saying 18 is too much, but 12 is not. Because
$6 million is a big difference.
But starters are making 25 million now, 20, 25, 26 million. That's
he's getting paid after that. So that's what a bench player should get paid.
I'm just saying. I understand. I'm not saying Trevor Ariza is not a good player, but I'm saying that's a lot of money, and he's old.
That's not a lot of money in today's league. That's not a lot of money. That's the thing.
He's in year 14.
It doesn't matter. He's still a great player.
Okay.
The Sacramento Kings are going to make the playoffs because we have a player like him on the team.
Relax with that. The Kings haven't made the playoffs in 13 years.
Yeah, we missed the playoffs this year by 1 year, and we were terrible.
Trevor Ariza is not going to just turn your team around. Relax with that.
See, it's comments like that. It just proves to me that you just don't know the game of basketball. It's actually mind blowing. He fills the perfect role.
Last name must be Jordan then, because he's going to carry from the bench on his back. Well, I don't understand. What are you arguing? Is he going to start or not? You telling me you're going to make the playoffs because Trevor Ariza is coming off the bench?
First off, every great team needs a bench.
I'm not disagreeing, but you're talking about Trevor Ariza like he's going to be on a pedestal.
One of the main reasons why the Sacramento Kings did not make the playoffs last year, and we only missed it by a game, the only reason why is because we didn't have a bench. We now have a bench. We have Trevor Ariza. We got Corey Joseph. We're going to have Bogdanovich come off the bench for us. So that's going to give us three-point shooting because that was something else that we were missing. Even though we had Buddy Hield, who was one of the best three-point shooters in the league, we didn't really have other three-point shooters that if he was out or he was missing, we had no one else that can knock it down. Now we have Trevor Ariza, who can shoot the three, who has ability to create his own shot in some instances, depending on the situation. He can also lock down the best team's defender, or at least slow them down. He's still a great defender. Okay, we added Dedmon, who plays both sides of the basketball, something that Willie Cauley-Stein can never do. He can also shoot the ball from the three-point line, which allows us to spread the court. It gives Marvin Bagley more room inside, which is his strength, which is to dominate the post. Okay, that also gives De'Aaron Fox players that can do pick and rolls or pick and pops. That makes him an even better player. I don't understand what's wrong with everything we've done. All the pickups the Kings have made this year so far, they all fit the roles of everything we've needed. Everything we've done.
But no, here's the thing. You came at me like I'm questioning the talent on the Kings roster, and I wasn't questioning their young talent. I'm just saying.
Bro, we had $60 million to spend.
Here's my question. If Trevor Ariza is the dude you say he is, and he's that good, why is the second year not guaranteed?
The second year is not guaranteed. That doesn't. God. Okay. The second year is not guaranteed because we always told him, as it is, we're using him for roster flexibility. There's potential that you have to understand that we still have to pay our younger players. We have to give next year, for example. This is Buddy Hield's last year of his rookie deal. We have to pay Buddy Hield. We have to extend De'Aaron Fox. We have to extend – well, we don't have to extend Marvin Bagley yet, but we have to extend Buddy Hield. We have to extend De'Aaron Fox. Their contracts are ending right now. So that means we have to have him on a cheaper contract because we're going to have money to pay for those guys. It's called being smart. It's called not only, thinking of current and teaching our current guys, but it's also thinking for the future. The Kings are thinking we're finally at a point, and it's been a long time, that Sacramento has actually thought about building a team for the future. And that's why it kind of shocked me that players, like Kawhi, like KD, didn't think about Sacramento. I understand. But if you could think about the Knicks, I don't understand why you wouldn't think of Sacramento. But okay. Sacramento has a better core. People talk about the Clippers. I think Sacramento is better than the Clippers. We have a better, as far as younger players, our younger core is better than their younger core. It's not even close.
Oh, okay. So, I have a comment I'm going to make, okay?
Go ahead.
You said that they're building for their future, right?
Yes.
Me, in my opinion, okay, I agree with what you're saying about Trevor Ariza, okay? Everything you said about Trevor Ariza, I agree with, but here's my problem. Trevor Ariza is a piece that you need to put you over the top, okay, like on a contending team. The Kings are not a contending team yet. What I'm saying is I think that money that they've paid him, and so here's what I'm saying. Why would they just not give him a 1-year deal for $10 million, $11 million?
Because we wouldn't get him for that much.
But you did. You got him for 2 years, $12.5 million, and the second year's not even guaranteed.
It's not fully guaranteed.
No, here's the thing. You contradict yourself. You said they're playing for the future, but they've signed a guy who's going into his 15th season.
Because having a veteran player like that can get us to the playoffs. Let's say if we make the playoffs next year, you telling me that experience in the playoffs is not helping the future of our team?
Yes and no, because he's not starting.
It doesn't matter. You don't have to start to be a teacher.
I'm not. No, I'm not disagreeing, but I'm saying.
Okay, what do you mean? He doesn't have to start.
How is he? I guess you're gonna have to explain to me how him being on the bench in that situation helps a team that's never been to the playoffs. He's gonna come in and relieve them, and he can teach them little things. But
okay. Look, he's not gonna start, but he's gonna have a big role on the team. He's gonna get a lot of minutes. He's gonna get close to starter minutes.
How many minutes would you say he should get?
Well, it depends. It depends on what other moves we make. I'm gonna say he's definitely gonna play at least 20 to 25 minutes.
Okay. I think he'll play more than that, but that's
And
okay.
he's not gonna play more than 20, 25 minutes. I can tell you that right now. He'll probably play 22 minutes at most. Trevor Ariza is at the age now where, yes, he's 33 years old. He's still a good player, but he's playing. He's really the only reason he accepted the contract is probably because no one else was guaranteeing him 2 years. Now we didn't fully guarantee him, but at least we said, look, we'll give you 2 years. If you play well, we'll keep you, and you get that extra. You'll get that money. Would players? I really believe that another team would have gave him that same contract.
But that's the thing. Like I said before, another team who needs a player to put them over the top, like a player that where he can be Trevor. I don't think he's going to be the Trevor Ariza that you're saying he is on the Kings, especially if he plays less minutes.
I don't need him to be the great Trevor Ariza. I just need him to be, even if he's good Trevor Ariza, that's all we needed.
But you realize he's averaged.
That's still better than a lot of players who do the same thing that he does. He's still better than most of them. There were definitely the ones. He was better than all the ones available. But he was definitely better than most are in the league. There are 3-and-D guys. There are strictly 3-and-D guys. He is one of the best in the league.
So I want to ask one question, then we could get off this topic, because I don't disagree that Trevor Ariza is not a good role player. Okay, I'm not disagreeing with you.
Okay, go ahead.
What I'm saying is, you said he's going to average 22. You think he's going to play 22 minutes? Okay,
about 22.
His minutes per game the last 4 seasons has been 34. That's close to starter minutes. Very close. If not, that is starter minutes.
Yeah, 34 is starter minutes.
So you're saying you paid a guy who to perform somewhat close to that level or at that level, and you paid him that money, which is cheap if he was a starter, but he's playing off the bench, and that time is gonna be cut by 12 minutes, and you're gonna expect him to produce that much or produce like Trevor Ariza is what I'm asking you. Like the Trevor Ariza that you just said, named all this stuff, the best.
If he does Trevor Ariza in the same amount of minutes, I'm not saying to get the same numbers that he does in 34, but if he does if you do it per 40 minutes, like the way they do it, as long as he does what he usually does in the 22 minutes, I'm happy. It's a win. It's a steal. It's an automatic steal if he does anything close to what it is. It's a great pickup. Everyone is saying it's a great pickup. I don't understand what's the problem.
I don't know. We'll have to see.
It's a total steal. The fact that we got Trevor Ariza is a total steal.
We'll have to see.
People are actually saying we stole him from the Wizards. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what your problem is. You don't want superstars. Then you try to shit on teams.
Stars.
Then you try to shit on teams who build from the ground up. I don't know what you're doing. You need to make up your mind.
I'm not. No, I'm not.
Look, I'm just saying, we do things the right way in Sacramento now, and you shit on that, but then, whatever. I don't know. I don't get you. It's okay, though. It's all right. When we make the playoffs this year,
you can clap because it had been 13 long years, and I'll clap with you because, 13 years is a long time. I understand.
I'm sorry that we don't try to get 3 superstars on our team.
And I applaud you for that. Yes, I do. I applaud you. No,
whatever.
You see, here's the thing. You're making me out to be a villain.
You are a villain.
No.
Because you try to shit on my team, and I completely shut down everything you said, and you're still trying to find a way to make us look bad.
No, I'm
Bringing
not.
Up for 13 years, we didn't make the playoffs and all this crap.
No, because
we should have won a championship in 2002, but someone cheated.
Do you live in the past? Can I ask you that?
No,
There are a lot of things. I think you live in the past. You know, you
I
live
don't live in the past. I just like telling the truth.
no, you live
And
in the past.
it's like I don't understand how you can even think about, oh, we overpaid for a backup. We're only paying him 12 million in the league that we have 109 million to spend, and we're paying 12 million for a guy that's going to be a six man. Like that's a steal. Who's a really good player. Like I don't understand. I can understand we paid him 30 million or some shit. We gave
No,
him
this is what
12
I'm saying.
million.
You said you act like he was way overpaid at 18, but 12 is fine.
It was way overpaid for a guy on a 1 year contract. That's the thing you're missing. For 1 year, that's terrible.
So let me ask you this: what is his second year that's not fully guaranteed? How much is fully guaranteed? Let's do some math.
Let me see. I don't think that's been released yet.
Okay, so he's getting some money in the second year whether he plays or not. So he's getting 12 and a half his first year, and if he doesn't play, he's probably getting what, 3 or 4 million, which is close to 18. That's my original point. That's my whole argument. You said that 18 was too much for him on a 1 year.
For 2 years, I'll take that on a player. Like you also understand too is that it was 18 million, but it was for the Suns who are terrible, and they didn't need him only because they don't have any chance of making the playoffs.
But if he's as great as you say he is, why wouldn't they keep him? That's what I'm asking you.
They couldn't afford to keep him because they just got Ricky Rubio, and they also got made other moves. It's free agency. Like you're not making sense.
They trade him in the middle of the season.
They traded him for the middle of the season, and they got a younger player because they realized that the first mistake was trying to get a guy who's a veteran where they had no shot of making the playoffs.
But Ricky Rubio isn't a veteran. I'm asking you. You said it. I'm asking you.
That was last year. I'm talking about last year. This year, the reason why they did that is because now they feel confident in their team.
Okay.
You got to understand, last year, DeAndre Ayton got hurt. Okay? This Devin Booker, he was playing hurt. I think he got hurt for the last month of the season, if not a little bit less than that. He got hurt. They traded Trevor Ariza because Washington thought that they were going to make a run for the playoffs. So Washington overpaid for him. They traded Kelly Oubre, who's a younger player, and I think they also gave a first-round pick. I could be wrong. If I was the Suns, I would take that pick too. I would take that easily.
Okay.
Definitely, if you're getting a younger player and you're getting a pick, yeah, you take that without a doubt. They overpaid. The Wizards overtraded for him, and he played great for them, but they did still give up too much. The reasons the Wizards couldn't get him because the Wizards are in cap trouble. If you know about the Wizards have John Wall's terrible contract. They're currently trying to get rid of. They couldn't even keep Tomas Sernatoski, who was their starting point guard for 54 games last year, who played really well for them. Definitely when John Wall got hurt. Okay, they're talking about trading Bradley Beal. They're basically trying to do a rebuild while also keeping Bradley Beal, which is nearly impossible. That's why there's talks that Bradley Beal might get traded to Miami Heat. That's why that team couldn't keep Trevor Ariza, if you must know.
Okay. Well, that's okay. We'll just move on.
Yeah, because I got more, but you're really gonna get me mad, and I don't want to get mad at you.
Listen.
Definitely when it comes to my Kings, like that's something. Like I got so much more to say, but I'm gonna keep it quiet. Well, I'm sure you'll say something piss me off another day, and I'll go off on you on that.
I just feel like you live in the past, and I'm just trying to help you. I'm trying to help you grow as a person.
I tell you straight facts so you can understand the future.
I'm trying to help you grow as an individual. Okay, I'm not shitting on the Kings. I'm just saying.
Look, let's just move on. What else? Did you have anything else you wanted to say? Any other big free agency moves that you wanted to talk about? Because this is episode 11, and I feel like this is a big episode for us.
Yeah.
You know, we got so much more. And you know what? If this is our biggest episode, let's make it our biggest episode. It's free agency, baby. It's wild. It's crazy. Let's do it. So what else you got for me? What else? What other nonsense you got to say?
Well, I mentioned it earlier, but I really like the Detroit Pistons pickup of Derrick Rose. 2-year, $15 million. I think that was a steal. If you want to talk about a steal, I think that was a steal. The way Derrick Rose played last year.
Well, I disagree with you. I don't see how that's a steal. I think he got exactly what he's worth.
Okay.
I wouldn't give Derrick Rose more than that. If you remember, Derrick Rose got hurt.
But you give Trevor Ariza more than that. Okay.
Yeah, because Trevor Ariza is better than Derrick Rose, and it's not even close. Anyway, Derrick Rose got hurt for a lot of last year. Trevor Ariza didn't get hurt, so I don't know why you're even talking. Derrick Rose, yes, he did score when he played. If he missed a lot of games. He did have that 50-point outburst. I think that was that in Chicago? No, I don't even remember where it was. It was a great game. I watched it live. I just forgot where it was that he played. But Derrick Rose did have great moments, but he was really inconsistent player. He did have scoring outbursts, like I said, like the 50-point game. But like I said, he got paid exactly what I would have gave him anyway. All he is a scorer. He's not going to do anything else for your team. He doesn't pass the ball. He doesn't rebound. He doesn't play defense. So $7 million or $7.5 million because he got 2 years, $15 million for a team that needed scoring, definitely from the guard position. It was a good pickup for them, but to say it was a steal, I think that's blasphemous. So,
I don't want to go backwards in a conversation, so let's just keep going forwards.
No, I'm going to continue with other things. I really like, if we're talking about picks that we really liked or signings that we really liked, I really liked Malcolm Brogdon to the Indiana Pacers. It was a sign and trade. The Pacers traded a first-round pick and 2 second-round picks so that they can get Malcolm Brogdon, who signed basically a max contract, 4 years, $85 million. It seems that he'll be like the centerpiece along with Victor Oladipo, who's coming back from his injury. I really like that. It's interesting. It will be interesting how they play that, that starting lineup. I guess Brogdon will probably play the 3 because Oladipo's not a point guard and Brogdon's not a point guard either. They're both really 2s. So I guess they'll probably put Brogdon at the 3 though, because I think he's big enough to play the 3. But we'll see. That's really interesting. But I do like what the Pacers did. I forgot they signed someone else too that I thought was really interesting. I think it was them that signed somebody that I really liked. I can't remember the other team, the other player they signed, but I think it was them. But I want to say it was a big man. Oh man, I can't think off the top of my head. But either way, I really like that Brogdon move. I like that team up. Looks like they'll have a nice defensive backcourt for sure. Oladipo, Brogdon, pretty good. Another one that I did like too. What was it? Oh, Terry Rozier to Charlotte Hornets. I like that. That would be a nice. It was basically a sign. They basically did like a sign and trade so that both players can get the contracts they wanted. But Rozier to the Hornets, this allows him to basically take the Kemba role as Charlotte. And we can really see what Rozier can do on his own. We can see the amount of talent he has. I really like Rozier. I wish Boston could have kept him, but if you're getting Kemba, he's got to say goodbye. And I have no problems with him saying goodbye. I'm really excited to see him over in Charlotte. I live about four hours from Charlotte, and if he turns out to be a really good player, I'll definitely go over there and try to see him play live. So, what you think about those?
Yeah. Well, Rozier, he's a good player. We'll see what he does in Charlotte. Like you said, he'll be on his own. So I'm anxious to see what he does there. A team that to me they've re-signed a lot of players, not a lot of big name players, which to me is concerning. Let's talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder for just a second. You like any of the moves that they made? Because I'm not impressed.
Well, honestly, I don't even remember a deal they actually made. The only thing I know that they did for sure was re-signing Nerlens Noel. Big fucking deal. I mean, he's a good center. He's a backup center who got drafted really high and turned out to be a bust. Um, Other than that, I mean, he's just a defensive center. He'll have some moments where he'll get a block or two or a nice dunk, but other than that, he's not a big threat. OKC didn't improve at all, in my opinion, in this free agency so far. I'm not sure if their cap is hurting or anything like that, but other than that, I could care less about OKC. Just terrible as usual.
Another team in the West that didn't really improve, in my opinion, was also the Rockets. Austin Rivers re-signed. I think that's the biggest re-signing they had. Maybe Gerald Green, I think, but not
Yeah,
really anything.
they
Not really
got
anything to
Gerald
write home
Green.
about.
Yeah, they tried to make some good moves. They tried to get Jimmy Butler. They tried to do the sign and trade for Jimmy Butler. There was rumors that Jimmy Butler to the Rockets, Capella to Boston, and then Eric Gordon and PJ Tucker back to Philly. And then at one point, I think there was a fourth team involved, but it never worked out. Jimmy Butler ended up in Miami in a 4-team trade. We didn't get to talk about that, but I'll just briefly hit on it because it's not like it's a big thing. Although Jimmy Butler is a great player, he's not changing life in Miami. Miami's not going to improve to like a playoff team or anything like that. I think they got rid of a lot of their players. They're going to have to trade Goran Dragic. They already got rid of Hassan Whiteside, Josh Richardson, Kelly Olynyk. There was another name they got rid of in the trade that they had to make to get Jimmy Butler over. But they'll have a nice little group with Jimmy Butler. And we'll just see what they do. I'm not overly impressed with Miami. I'm sure Pat Riley is going to make that team work. But at the end of the day, I mean, Jimmy Butler, Justice Winslow is not going to be enough to do anything or to make a dent in the East, definitely compared to Boston or Philly or even the Bucks, who really didn't make any moves either. They just re-signed a bunch of guys, and the only person they really added was Brooke Lopez's brother, Robin Lopez. So, we'll see what the Bucks do.
Shout out to Klay Thompson and his contract he got.
Yep,
Well deserved.
5-year, 190. Gotta love that.
Kristaps signed a big deal. The Mavericks.
Yep. Trying to remember off the top of my head. 5 years, 158. If I remember right, I could be wrong.
Nope, that's right. Jamal Murray signed a similar contract, 5-year, 170.
Yep. Speaking of Denver, real quick, I really like Denver. I liked them last year. I had them going to the Western Conference Finals. This year, I'm not too sure about that, but they're definitely going to need They definitely need Jamal Murray to step up. He got the contract. Hopefully, he gets better. Um, they got Jokic the God. I love Jokic. He's probably my favorite player in the league. Actually, no, he is my favorite player in the league. I love the way he plays basketball on both sides of the ball. Uh, I like that they kept Millsap. I don't know if I would have accepted his $30 million or team option. I'm sure they could have got maybe someone else that could have done close to the same thing, or maybe they could have resigned him for cheaper. But other than that, I do like that they're getting. They'll be getting Michael Porter Jr. back this year, and I think he's going to make he's going to be a big threat on that team, and that's just going to make that team so much better. Michael Porter Jr. and Jokic is going to be a combo that I think we need to watch out for. Although he's a rookie, I think that he's going to be pretty beast mode. Plus, if I remember right, didn't Denver trade for was it Bobo they traded for in the draft? Wait, who did the Nuggets get in the draft? They traded up. Wait, hold on. I'm trying to think. They made a big move. They shocked everyone. Um, why do I want to say it was Bobo? I can't think of. I'll think of it soon. Oh man, I can't remember. I can't believe I forgot. I know they didn't have a first round pick and they traded up. Yeah. It was Bobo. Yep, it was Bobo. They traded it up to get him from Miami. So look out for Bobo if he plays this year for the Denver Nuggets. Him and Michael Porter Jr. along with Jokic, Jamal Murray, uh, Paul Millsap. That's going to be a team to watch. I really like Bobo in the draft. I remember in our draft episode, I really love Bobo. So that's going to be a good move for them. That's for sure. But do you have any last trade or free agent talks you want to mention?
No, I think we covered everything. I think we got an action-packed 36 hours in.
36 hours in. All right. So before we head out of here, there's two things I want to ask. Well, two things I want to ask you. First, where do you think Kawhi is going? Where do you officially believe he's going? Do you think he's going to the Lakers? Do you think he's going to the Clippers, or is he going back to Toronto?
I really don't know. And I'm dead serious. Dead serious. If Kawhi Leonard joins the Los Angeles Lakers, I will be looking for a new team.
Okay. I'm just all right. Whatever.
Yeah, I think he is. It's going to be one of the LA teams. That's what I feel. I don't think he's going to return to the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah, I agree. I think Toronto Raptors, they're done. I think they're out of it. I think I mentioned this in my NBA draft. I mean, my NBA free agency preview, episode 4, when the real gets rough. I said that I believe Kawhi is going to the Lakers, and I think Magic Johnson has a big part to do with that. The fact that he wanted to talk to Magic Johnson so many times, that just told me everything I needed to know. It looks like Kawhi Leonard, in my opinion, he's going to the Los Angeles Lakers. I would actually be really, really shocked if he doesn't. And then last question. Basically, how much do you like hockey?
Um, I've been to several semi-pro games. I don't really know the rules other than you skate down to one end of the floor and shoot a puck in the goal. I can name one position of hockey. I like the fights, but I don't. I mean, I think it's entertaining to watch it live more than sitting at home. I mean, I don't dislike hockey if that's okay to say.
No, that's understandable. Well, I just want to let you know, and I want to let everyone else know. Well, you already know, but we're going to be introducing hockey into our coverage. We are a sports podcast, and we never get specific into what sports we do. We always said our sports. We're going to be covering everything, and I think we've done a pretty good job so far. We've covered basketball, covered football, we covered MMA, we've covered boxing, even wrestling, as far like WWE and stuff like that. I think it's time to expand our horizons, and that's why we will be introducing hockey to a weekly video. I have one of my boys. His name is Daniel Mount. Uh, he works for a newspaper. He works for several columns. He does several columns on hockey, and I definitely, want to have him come on a weekly basis and just maybe teach us a thing or two about hockey. Maybe we can learn to love the sport as much as he does. Maybe we can get some new fans to love hockey along with us, and we can all learn together. What you thinking about that, JT?
Yeah, it like I said, I've enjoyed watching it live, and I don't really know a whole lot about it. I mean, I know what the goalie, that's a position I think that everybody knows, but other than that, I don't really know a whole lot. So I'm down for that.
All right. Well, that's perfect. Now, before we end the show, I think that and I'm sure you've heard of this or heard this story today. Some sad news that happened earlier today. Um, the Los Angeles Angels pitcher Tyler Skaggs was found dead in his hotel room earlier today. The details of his death um, are not known at this moment. And first, me, Fino, and JT Flash, we want to send out our condolences to his family, his friends, and all that. Um, it's a really sad thing. I couldn't imagine, um, losing a friend or a family member like that. Definitely so unexpectedly. It's really sad. He had just pitched 2 days ago for the team, according to um, teammates of his. I'm sure we've all heard of Mike Trout. Mike Trout had tweeted, that he was, just a great friend, great competitor, great teammate. It was just a really sad day uh, in the day of baseball. They even postponed the game that they were supposed to play tonight, the Los Angeles Angels versus the Texas Rangers. So I think that in honor of Tyler Skaggs, if JT, if you would join me and everyone who's listening, if you could just join me in honor of baseball, 9 innings. Let's do a 9 second, moment of silence in honor of Tyler Skaggs starting now. So here we go. All right. So, like you said before, we want to send our condolences to the Skaggs family. I know he had a wife. I don't think he had any kids, but just
There,
like
they're in our thoughts and prayers for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. You know, the baseball world, just the sports world and in general, just we lost a great guy. Definitely, at least from you know from what people have said around about him in the league, from reporters to other players to teammates to coaches, to the commissioner of baseball. It's just a really sad day. So we definitely wanted to, pay our respects, and hope that, together we can, try to move on and maybe just, I guess just honor his memory, for now on. And maybe the Angels can, rally for him for the rest of the season, and we'll see what things go. But anyway, it sucks that we ended it like that, but at the same time, we do want to pay our respects. So
hang on before we end. That is an issue, and I'm glad we talked about it and paid our respects. But we got to pay respects to our listeners. And I ain't mean to put you out on the spot like this, but when are we going to give the people what they want?
What is it that the people want?
The people want, they want us to debate because you keep bringing up his name. I'm not bringing up his name. He doesn't deserve to his name be mentioned.
Oh,
they want this. They want this. We have to give the people what they want.
Be more specific, okay? Be more specific.
He was a quarterback for the Jets that you happen to love. That's as far as I'm going.
You want me? So what you're saying is, you want to debate about Mark Sanchez? Is that what you're saying?
I just want to help you. Like I said, you live in the past. I'm gonna help you.
You're gonna help me. And what is this? You know what, JT? I accept your damn challenge. You know what? I don't even know what we're debating. But
whatever you think, whatever you said about Mark Sanchez.
Hold on. Whatever you feel that you need to debate me on, I accept your challenge. I will. Not only will I guess I'm defending Mark Sanchez. So Not only will I defend Mark Sanchez, not only will I prove that he is the most successful quarterback that the Dallas Cowboys have had since Troy Aikman. Okay. I mean, I don't know what else you want me to prove.
That's an argument you're coming with. You might as well not even show up. I'm just gonna.
I got more. I mean, should I bring up the 4 playoff wins? That's more than most quarterbacks in the NFL today. But should I do that?
Let's save that because, like I said, it's the people. The people want to hear about it. The people.
I'm just saying. I mean, you bring up these things, but I don't understand why the people want to listen to you get beat down again on another debate. I'm 3-0.
You're not 3-0. You're not.
I'm 3-0.
You can think you're 3-0, but you're not.
I'm seriously 3-0. I already did the poll. I'm 3-0.
What poll? Where? Where are these polls?
If you had a Facebook, you would see them. But right now, I'm 3-0. So, it's okay though. Maybe you'll create a Facebook. You'll join the Facebook page, the Facebook group that I have, the Daddy Fino Flash Podcast group. It's slowly growing, but right now we're gonna get to that point. So, yes, that was a plug to that. Also, before we end this, we also want to, give a plug to our side pieces. I call them side pieces. JT has his side piece to the Daddy Fino Flash Podcast. That is the JT Flash slowing it down for you. You just dropped an episode of that, and you're hearing you have a part 2 to that. Am I correct about that?
It's not really a part 2. I'm ranting about the same thing, but this time it's about a certain player.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, he's got that dropping out soon. I just recently dropped my side piece episode, When the Real Gets Rough. Oh, by the way, I'm mad at you for a second. Real quick. You fucked up my title on your last video.
My
You
bad.
said the rough gets real. I'm like, wait, what? I almost commented on it and almost showed up at your house and smacked you. But
My fault.
anyway, I just dropped an episode when the real gets rough. Uh, and that was my NBA draft. I mean NBA free agency predictions. But I will also have another episode of that coming out soon. Definitely after the Kawhi thing drops, because I know I'm gonna have something to say about that. Um, Also, real quick, I also dropped a review of UFC on ESPN this past Saturday, Nagano versus Dos Santos. Check that out. And I also reviewed AEW, the second wrestling company in America, well, the number 2 wrestling company in America, AEW Fighter Fest. That's should be dropping as we speak right now. It's uploading right now. So hope you guys check that out. We got more events for you guys too. UFC 239 is this weekend. John Jones, his fight. Nunez versus Holly Holm. We're going to be reviewing that also. So, JT, you got anything you're going to be reviewing or not? What you got?
Coming up in the end of July, July 20th, is a big Manny Pacquiao fight. I'll be reviewing that. I might upload a little snippet once Quad, lands like you. I'm sure we'll discuss it a little briefly in the next episode. I expect by the time we drop the next episode, Kawhi will have made a decision. But
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. And also just look out for that for the episode where we debate Mark Sanchez apparently, and I bust down JT once again for the 4th straight time. So
not gonna
anyway,
happen. I would be surprised if you even show up.
well, we'll see. Anyway, I'm Daddy Fino, the best ever, baby. And he's JT Flash, my co-host, the one and only JT Flash. This is Daddy Fino Flash podcast. We gonna be out of here. We love you guys. Peace. We out.